all welcome. We shall always be having press conferences on Monday, so that's going to be our culture. But the uniqueness in it is we shall always be hosting people from different regions where we see, especially the affected areas. So we shall always be getting people from there to give us the real feeling, the real life in that area. So today, our first press conference. You're most welcome. So President, you can address our colleagues.
Thank you very much. Now, next to me is a gentleman from Karamoja called Chero Emmanuel. We invited him. He came from Moroto on Saturday, and he's come here to tell us things which are happening in Karamoja, which the country does not know about, but which we want them to know about. Now, we at NEED, we have a national outlook to the way everything is. So we shall be having people from different parts of the country to come and communicate to us the issues in their country. Now, I want Emmanuel to start by telling us, we heard that there were deaths in Karamoja. We heard that we saw that guy, that 48-year-old juvenile, tweeting that we are going to take hell to Karamoja. So I don't want to honor him by even mentioning his name, but you know who I'm talking about, the man who is 48 but behaves like he's a teenager. So we want you to know that there is a silent genocide happening in Karamoja. Today we are here to show you evidence. We are not just here to talk, we are here to show you evidence that slowly, away from the cameras, there is a silent genocide going on in Karamoja, and our NEED coordinator from that region is here to tell us about that genocide. And we want the whole country to know what's happening, because Karamoja is a part of Uganda, and we believe that every part of Uganda has to be represented on the national stage. Now, this is the reason why we'll be having these press conferences every Monday in this place, the same time, and the same format. So I'll just ask him a few questions, then we'll show you some of the things that you want you to see, and then from then, you can have him to yourself and ask him questions yourself, because he lives in Moroto. He came here just for this reason. His name is Chero, C-H-E-R-O, Emmanuel, and he's going to tell us today what has been happening in Karamoja. So give him another micro. So Chero, where do you come from? Which sub-county do you stay in?
I'm a Tepeth from Moroto. These are the minorities within the minorities in Karamoja. And of course, the Tepeth people of which, the Karamojong people of which the Tepeth are part, reside along the slopes and caves of mountains. In Karamoja, they're actually the first occupants of this country, Uganda, 600 BC. They are the first people, the first lot that arrived here before the other Karamojongs coming. And then, if you know of the Ik, for example, in Timu, in the Ik County in Kabong, we also have the Kadam people in Nakapripirit. They are also on top of Mount Moroto. They are on top of Mount Napak in Napak district.
Okay, and where are you from yourself?
I come from Tapach sub-county. I come from Natumkales parish, Lomelan village in Moroto district.
Okay. Now, we heard recently that there were some soldiers who were killed around Moroto, and we heard people vowing revenge. Tell us the story. How were those soldiers killed?
Of course, land in Karamoja is held customarily, and that's the traditional way of land ownership there. But now, it's not recognized within our existing laws of the Republic of Uganda. And the traditional system is that they are primary users of this land. Those are the people who live around the land there. And then there are secondary users of the land. Like now, those are the Teso, those are the Langi. They actually, if they want to come. And then you have tertiary users of this land. Those are people from other countries. Like now, you can, in this case, you can say the Toposa of South Sudan. You can say the Turkana of Kenya, the Pokot of Kenya, because these are pastoral communities. So there are bylaws which are made. There are existing laws.
Hold on a minute. Are you hearing clearly? No. You use this mic and put it a bit far away from you.
So there are existing laws traditionally there, because those cattle corridors have gatekeepers. Those homesteads, they have traditional leaders. So they are Manyata leaders, they are clan leaders, because they are clans in Karamoja. So they are clan leaders. They if you come to your homestead, there's that particular one man they know. That's the home of Swan. So even if there are 300 people living in a Manyata, so they know who is the leader of that particular.
So a Manyata is like a group of a collection of homesteads.
A Manyata is a homestead. A Manyata is a homestead. Like now, you can get about 3 or 4 Manyatas in one LC1, in one village. But each Manyata there has got his own leader. So even if there are 400 people in that Manyata,
400,
for example, they know that that's the home of so-and-so, or that's the Manyata of so-and-so.
About what, on average, how many people stay in a Manyata?
You can say from 200 to about 500.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So now, the arrangement now, I was just giving you, the background I was giving you, those bylaws. So even a group of spies is sent. If, for example, the Karamojongs want to go to Teso to live there, because this side has become drier, because the pastoral community is moving from one place to the next. So look in search for water and pasture. So what happens now is that a group of spies is sent to that community by Manyata leaders of this area or by clan leaders of this area. So they go and meet Manyata leaders of that place. They discuss, they say, you know what, this side now is drier, this side is more, okay, there's no pasture here, there's no water here, so we intend to come there for some time, and then we'll come back. So this is the arrangement that brought the Turkana to Moroto.
So how did the Turkana come?
The Turkana came in that arrangement. What if you kill our daughters? What if you rape our girls? What do we do? Those bylaws are made verbally.
Let me get this straight. So the Turkana sent emissaries to the Karamojong.
You see, the Turkana, first of all, was dry this period. And then there's a crisis in Karamoja. So for them, they decided to come with their guns as a condition to those traditional leaders.
Had the Karamojong leaders allowed the Turkana to come with their guns?
Because there was already a conflict.
Okay.
Yeah, because if you come now without your guns, how are you going to protect your cows?
Yes.
So that is the challenge. And yet the UPDF does not protect.
Yes.
They withdrew the forces. So now when you take away protection, even if you go to Centenary Bank now, you take away those Saracen, those Arrow boys, you take away security from those banks. Now, if that bank is raided in the night and money is looted, so whose problem is that? So that's the arrangement that brought the Turkana. Now, when the geologists now went to that area, of course, there's zero survey going on. So when they went there now, they reached a certain place called Nakope. And then they left there the vehicle because there's no road, there are no roads. So they began now moving, now walking about another 4 or 5 kilometers.
What were they looking for?
Of course, they were they're looking for minerals because it's part of their survey. They're looking for minerals. So, and of course, with their GPS, they're being directed by their machines. So now, what happened is that when this group now fell in the Turkana, who were camped there in that area, so the soldiers panicked, who were guarding the geologists.
How many geologists were there?
There were 2 geologists, there were 2 soldiers, but now there was also one girl, I'm told she was an intern. She was an intern, but under Ministry of Energy.
So there were 5 people?
There were 5 people. No, and then there was a translator, there was other people. There was one boy from Abim and another boy from Moroto.
Who were translators?
Who were translators, yeah.
Oh, okay. So there were 7 people.
There were 7 people who were moving. There were a number of teams. They had about 4 teams. But of course, this particular team of 7 people moved to this particular location. But others moved to other locations also. Those other teams. So now what happened is that when they reached that place and they saw the Turkana with their guns and with their cows, they panicked and shot at the Turkana. So the Turkana now took cover.
In their cows?
They took cover now and shot them. So that's how we lost what? We lost those people.
So all 7 were killed?
No, 6 people were killed. But now one boy survived injuries and is in the hospital.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and then what happened afterwards?
So now, of course, now what happened is that the Commander Land Forces now decided now to take soldiers there. And even tweeted, most of us, if you saw the tweet that I'm taking help to Karamoja. That's what he said. So now when they came to Karamoja, than to look for the killers of these geologists. They did not. They just went now to Nakabat. They went to Lotisan people, Lotisan sub-county, and they just looped, the helicopter just looped bombs from the sky there. Looped bombs just on Manyatas. Innocent people died. And these are areas which are more endowed with minerals. So people are being chased away from those communities. Now the army has taken over those places. So if I'm to just show you people, if just a few.
No, you don't worry.
Just a few, if you can, just a few pictures. That way, you know.
Now this is pictures of the aerial bombardment, right?
Yeah.
On Manyatas. Okay, go ahead. These are where there were houses before.
Yeah.
Okay. Move ahead. These are pictures of people who were killed.
We just collect a few pieces here.
Yeah. You know
actually, that lady, she actually has 9 children. On that particular day.
You know her?
Yeah. It's called Nakut. Yeah. She actually died together that day with her 3 children.
With her 3 children. But she has 9 children.
She has 9 children.
Okay. And these are we try to get pictures which are not too gothic because
it's just that there are a lot of ugly pictures even on social media. These are just a few we can show you. You can go ahead and show more.
Okay, go ahead. Now, this is a picture after the aerial bombardment, the raisement. So, about how many people do you think died in this thing?
There are 462 so far.
462
so far.
Whom you know?
Yeah.
Eh?
Yes.
Whom you actually
the ones we have actually even tried to record their names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who records their names?
We have a team.
Okay.
You know, we have a team.
Okay, do we have any other? Yeah, now these are. Okay.
Actually, the lady was printing for me this photograph. She spent 30 minutes just crying. She said, "Is it true? This thing is." I said, "Yeah, it's Karamoja." She asked me when did this thing begin, and I told her it was 23rd of March.
23rd of March this
2019.
That's
when the crisis began in Karamoja.
But when did this happen?
This one happened after this one happened after the geologists were killed.
After the geologists were killed?
Yeah.
When was it? Which March was that? April, May?
That was February.
Huh? It was March? Eh?
Yeah, March.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll just give you these pictures because our national coordinator has been there.
So this is what's happening in Karamoja, but nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to talk about this thing. No one is allowed to say it. The Commander Land Forces himself warned the MPs, even on Twitter, and told them, "You people, you MPs of Karamoja, be careful." So the MPs are intimidated to the bone marrow. They cannot talk about this thing. You know? Yet Karamoja is also part of Uganda. So Karamoja is being treated as if it's not part of Uganda.
So it's a system that you use. They say, but we shall come with our guns because there is a crisis there. Then the elders of the Karamojong say, what? It's okay, you can come. So then, unfortunately, the place where they are coming to water their cows is very rich in minerals. Tell us about that place. What's it called? Which sub-county is that?
It's Lotisan sub-county.
Lotisan.
Actually, it's the Angolola Polon alone. That Angolola Polon, just that river alone.
The river?
Yeah. It has this gold, not the alluvial, the rocky one. The one you just pick a stone and crash, and then you just begin picking
the gold.
Yeah.
So, so geologists are there looking for gold. Then
the soldiers panicked.
Yeah. And then the Turkana are there looking for
to
water.
Cover, and, so that's exactly what happened.
Okay, do you have any questions to ask? This is not supposed to take long. Chero, do you have any questions to ask Chero or anybody? Yeah. Let me first, National Coordinator, first tell us, you went to that place. What did you see there?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I have been to Karamoja, but the latest I went there doing my work as a National Coordinator of need. The particular one that is fresh in my mind, horrifying one, I was standing, anybody who knows Moroto knows what we call the legendary tree of Moroto, the symbol of Moroto. In front of, there's a bank, MTN, and so I was standing opposite. There is a bookshop called St. Paul. All of a sudden, somebody comes, shoots a woman, jumps on a motorcycle, and rides in the direction of prisons. And just like that. And it's okay. Afterwards, of course, they just came, picked the dead body, and went away with it. You may think they are movies, but they're actually happening in Karamoja.
You see, the other thing is, our government, that the colonialists did to Karamoja. You see, the colonialists, they decided to say, let's preserve the culture of the Karamojong people. So when Obote came, he said, we will never wait for Karamoja to develop. Because of the mineral wealth there. Because now, that very same idea, they don't want anybody to know. They want to benefit themselves. So now, that's why they're saying, no, leave Karamoja the way it is, this stone here. They don't want to tell you about that stone. So, the same thing here, because they wanted the gold. Now, our government also now is interested in the minerals. That's why they are interested more in the violence in Karamoja.
So, they use the violence to clear people, and now they've taken over that.
Like right now, what they are doing is that they are chasing people away from the most endowed areas in Karamoja. Like now in Rupa sub-county, the purity there is 98% of the gold. And the market is so high. Now, you come to Lotisan sub-county, that they have chased people away. Now, not only that, they are also using game reserve. Panic. Anybody now who comes to say that why are you giving Karamojong a state house scholarship, that person needs to be, he has a problem with his head. So the issue here is that, you see, look at those ones now. Literacy rate in Karamoja is 20%. Now, if you are saying you want to educate the Karamojong, now look at this 150. You have missed exams. Now you missed the entire semester exams, meaning that you are just repeating a year. Afresh. As other regions are moving forward.
Okay.
So the way we have been really pushed to the wall. Ask Karamojong.
You told me about where do these people get bullets from? Where do these Karamojong get bullets from?
You see, most of the cartridges, by the way, we have observed in every raid, even where the military did not respond. Man, they are all Nakasongala, NK. They are government bullets. So we have on record a woman who was arrested with a sack full of bullets.
And who was she?
She discovered she's the wife again of the soldier. Now, we thought now they have arrested her. The following day again, you see her back in town. She's again in town. So that's why there is a direct involvement. Thirdly, we have also, the guns just government has recovered alone. The 422 guns government has recovered alone. It's only one that belongs to West Pokot. 32 of those guns are old guns, which during disarmament people buried underground. So the rest of the guns are all UPDF guns. Now, nobody wants to talk about this. They are saying Karamojongs get guns from Turkana, Karamojongs get guns from the Toposa and South. It is a lie. There's no evidence to that effect. But there's evidence from the guns they have recovered.
Which
that all these guns belong to the UPDF.
And even the bullets, most of them.
Even the bullets.
So the idea
there's a direct involvement of the military in the current course of the Katorason. There's a direct involvement. Number one, they began by withdrawing soldiers, protection. That's how they began. Secondly, they began giving warriors guns. Actually, in GA on record, a warrior goes to the detached with his ID. He's given that ID, National Identity Card of Uganda, is given to the detached, and then they give you a gun. When the raid is successful, this one is what? Is rewarded. That's why when you see, when they are looking for people who have guns, they know who they are looking, because they look at you, they have your ID already. You know? So this thing is going on in Karamoja. Nobody wants to talk about it. You know? You see the colonialists, they planted poisonous grass along the Pianupe Game Reserve there. So that when these cows eat, the cows die. And then people will say, oh, there's a bad omen there, don't take our cows. And then so that Karamojong should not go far. So the same thing now, our government is doing the same thing. You see, a gun in Karamoja, a gun came in Karamoja in 1875. That's when the first gun entered Karamoja, the triangle trade of ivory. That's when the gun came to Karamoja. And the Karamojons have coexisted with the gun since that time. So, of course, there have been a number of disarmaments which have taken place in Karamoja. The current one ongoing now, it's the 7th phase of disarmament Karamoja is going through. But of course, most of the people have understood this regime, so they think the second phase of disarmament. No. Idi Amin disarmed Karamojongs, Obote disarmed Karamojongs, colonialists disarmed, actually, twice actually before the First World War. And then twice before the Second World War. They built a meat packers, which was in Nanyuki. They brought it in Amalu to ensure Britain wins the Second World War. And this Alcatraz came to Uganda, to Karamoja. So there was a meat packers, they confiscate your cows. As for if we are in Kampala, in where, okay, there was a hat tax. There was a gun tax for the very house you have constructed. There was they tax you. In Karamoja, there was a cow tax. They just come, those are the British, they just come, they confiscate your fat bulls. They take them to a meat packers in Amalu to tin meat to ensure Britain wins the world war. Now, let me now come to the question you're asking. For us, you see, when you take guns away from Karamoja, that's direct poverty. Because those other neighbors of ours who have guns. Because even as we talk now, government fears G actually. Like now they are arresting men. They just come to Amanyata, anyone who's a man. They have so far arrested about 2,000 men. They are all in the detaches there. Right now, as we ongoing now. So, and they just come to a sub-county, all men. Whether you're educated, whether you're going to you're going to a continental with your wife, all of you are taken now. As currently now, even today now, it's taking place. They are rounding anybody who is called a man and taken to the detached. And they're also interested in clearing anything called a cow in Karamoja. We all know that Karamojongs are the cattle keepers we know in history. So they also want that to get out. And those neighbors who have guns will come and raid us. That's one. Initially, there was a vigilante program, which was in Karamoja. The vigilante program was that those guns in the community, because in a sub-county you can get over 500 guns. So the best way was, how can you use those guns for the common good of the people? Give them telecommunication so that you make them work for the common good, but you now put an IO on them to the UPDF person to be reporting. They'll be reporting to that person on seed trip. At the second, then there's Edward Sekandi now was a speaker with a trader in Teso, a trader where, and they are selling. So Karamojongs lost their wealth like that, including actually being ferried. You go to Western Uganda, there you lose those farms you see, you get Karamojong cows there. How did they go there? How do you know they are Karamojongs? Yeah, Karamojongs, because they're long-haul cattle, we know. And for us, we have marks. Our cows have marks. You cannot get so and so. That mark is from so and so because we mark our cows. So the issue is this. The issue is this. Karamojongs lost their wealth. And when Karamojongs lost their wealth, there was no way to replenish back. There was no way to NIC. So they promised that those people will be compensated. The record is there. The list of cows is detaches. People who took 500 cows, people who took 2,000 cows there, they never even retrieved one cow. So now, this is the peace we are talking about. That there was peace in Karamoja for the last 10 years. So, anyway, leave that aside. Now, what happened is that Karamojongs, of course, began again, small cows. We have lost about 200,000 cows, and only 17,000 of those have been recovered by the UPDF. So, and we have lost about 5,000 lives. It has been recorded on the street trips of the UPDF if you go on a daily basis. And, of course, this is the Karamoja we are talking about. So, to conclude on your question about should it be a gun to be given to Karamoja, to me the best idea is let them reinstate back the vigilante program. Let them bring back that program because it was working. Yeah. Now, you go to Moroto. You see, there are two Karamojas today. Okay? There is a Karamoja that lives along the trading centers where these highways pass. Where these tarmac roads pass. Where there is a road at least. There is that Karamoja. But outside that Karamoja, and that population is just about 18-19% of Karamoja. Now, there is the other Karamoja which lives 40 kilometers away from those trading centers. There is that Karamoja that lives far away from those trading centers. Now, that Karamoja is not in any way recognized. Even if you have to look at, for example, government programs, NGOs programs, they target those people who live in these trading centers. So the other population, the 80%, nobody is thinking about them. Now, that's why the people now who are living the traditional way now. Because here you have adopted now, you take your child to school and what have you. From there, you're a child, you begin shepherding and you're recruited into Oriawood. Okay? So at that level. So the other Karamoja has been left behind. Because if you have to look at now, how old were these who have begun this raiding? Who were part of this raiding? How old were they when disarmament took place? You find they were 9 years old, they were 12 years old, but if they went through a school, for example, maybe this crisis would have escalated to this level now, where we are. So, like now, the first meeting at the umbrella tree, the solution to this, we wouldn't have reached this level. The people suggested that you bring all the cows of the GA. Because by that time, it was only that corridor, the GA Mateniko Turkana, which was active in this cattle rustling. They said, okay, what we do, okay, you UPDF, you help us. Bring all the cows of the GA, bring them to Kabuleta, because Kabuleta is very large. There is enough water, there is enough pasture. Bring all the cows, because when the cows meet alone, you can anticipate some peace. But when cows are far away, or it's only men just meeting that they are talking about peace, that peace is not there. It is comedy. So the UPDF did not do it. So the elders even suggested, those Manyata leaders, they suggested that you just put a few of us in the bus and we'll go and talk to the president. No, they ignored that. You see, the best solutions to address the challenge, they don't want. See, they wanted to, like now they needed another Kobebe, for example. You put in G, another dam put in G, so that the G stop coming here. Maybe what problems are in Turkana that you need to solve as part of external security, for example, that you need to solve there and that the Turkana will never come here. Even if it's from our national budget, like they were doing the Congo Road, okay, with our budget. But if you put another Kobebe in Turkana, don't you think it has solved the issue? Makiso, maybe and Kampala here, which bring about 7 million voters. So even if There's no way the other 1 point something can still cover up here.
No, I'm not
Just
interested in
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I'm telling you, is it true that they actually vote 98% Museveni?
Yeah, of course, in most cases, in the rural, basically. Yeah, Museveni wins.
Okay. Any other questions?
I think you had another question.
Oh, he has answered them all. Okay, the other lady there has a question.
You see, according to the existing laws of Uganda, you see, for goodness sake, the land belongs to the people and the minerals belong to government, according to our constitution. I agree with you. But now there's no way you can get to your mineral before you pass into my land. Do we agree there? So for you to access, now, for you to access the mineral, you need to pass in my land. You need to go through my land for you to get the mineral. So for us, our laws accept, for example, equity. You know, we can give out that area of ours as our share capital, where the land is, as our share capital. And then we share dividends of the mineral. That's one. Alternatively, we can give you a small portion to access your thing. And then now, the houses we build there, we construct there, health centers, it's now where your staff, those roads we construct. The moment if any vehicle is passing there from you, from your company, you pay, we tax you. That's another scenario. But now government doesn't want these options.
What about
He wants you now talk, and then they enter.
What about the option of compensation?
You see, that one now is not called compensation. You see, there is what they call royalties, the 3% that is taken to those, and about 65% goes to government, and then another 7% I think comes to the district administration. But now we're talking about surface rights. Leave alone the royalties. We're talking about surface rights. That's not what we're talking about. They don't want now anything about surface rights. You see, as we talk now, Tororo Cement is in Koziro. They have been there since 2002. They have not paid even surface rights. Now in 2012,
what are they getting their limestone? What are they getting from there?
They are getting limestone. Now they want another 50 acres of land to buy. You know, Tororo Cement is a Chinese thing. Now they want to buy now land. They want now own land to go against our constitution. 50 acres and put a clinker plant in Kosiro. Now, honestly, for goodness sake, and then they are bringing their alcohol. They take their waraji so that, you know, the issue of the Americans, how the Americans were born out to take full possession of that place. So initially it was Indians who were there, but because Indians loved waraji a lot, so now we don't know. So our people, you find those lorries, when they get out of Karamoja, they move away with the mineral. But when they come back with waraji in those trucks. So it's a strategy to keep you on the ground. Because now, as we talk now, in Tepeth, the Tepeth people, there's nobody who is even capable to address that challenge. Tororo Cement is causing conflict it's playing a game between leaders here, so that people don't get strong to take to account, to demand from them. So in 2012, 2013, again they went and acquired illegally. They went drilling illegally without informing the population. So we just discovered that Kume, they have another mining lease again. Tororo Cement. You know?
Okay, I do but I just want to say that we've been talking about resource scarce. Resource scarce. People who are born in areas which have resources, who are being displaced without any compensation, without any due regard to their ancestral right to the land in question. And this is especially true, has been very true in Karamoja. And in the case of Karamoja, even a silent genocide. And those who are saying we are taking war, we are taking help Karamoja, those are war criminals. And they will be charged with war crime. Because you can't go and kill. You can't go and destroy 5 manyatas without any recourse of trying to understand how did these terrorists die, So you go and destroy a whole communities, women, children, innocent people. You just blow them up. Aerial bombardment, as you've seen in some of these pictures, and some others, by the way, are so grotesque that maybe it was even best for everybody that we do not. But these ones we can give them to you, so that when you go and talk about a silent genocide in Karamoja, we know what you're talking about. And the problem is they are born in a land which has minerals, and we have a greedy barbarian for a president. Okay? And a juvenile for a son. Let me not even go into that. But my point is, like, they don't want, they cannot even compensate people. These people want places to graze their cows. They don't want the gold. I wish they did, but they just want places to graze their cows. Can't you at least compensate them with some land? Can't you? They can solve that problem and actually take the gold. But no, they want to create. The reason is telling you that the wife of a soldier was carrying bullets, taking to sell to the Karamojong warriors, is because it benefits them to keep people fighting. Because now when there is some small scuffle, they come and clear people, the whole village. And those are village. And they will make sure those scuffles happen in places which are mineral rich, so that they have an excuse to come. So they give them the guns. You said what percentage of the guns were UPDF guns?
Actually, it's actually 72%.
Were UPDF guns?
Yeah, were UPDF guns.
So they give them the guns, they give them the bullets. This woman is caught, a wife of an IO, with a sack of bullets, going to sell them to the warriors, delivering to warriors, so that they stop the war, because they benefit from it. By now, these places where they bombarded, these manyatas, people have left those places, haven't they? Yeah. They have gone. They push people, and that's where the whole mineral wealth is. So now, the issue is, as we sit here and start talking about government taking all the other things that we're talking about, we at NEED, the issue is always going to be about resources. That is our conversation. People have other things to talk about. There's a lot of rubbish going on in ours is going to be about resources. Because we have to understand, why are these people clinging on to power? Because if you meet him outside, he will tell you the people who own land in that place. Okay? First Family, Janet Kataha, Museveni, all those area rich places. And they are the ones who get the royalties for the minerals. Okay? And others whom you tell you, who I don't want to say here. But then they come, they don't even have the courtesy to give them even little money. Here is money, get lost. No, they will just foment a war, create crisis, chase them all away, and now they get the royalties. And that is true for so many other places. And we are going to be sure. Now, our conversation is going to be about resources. The reason these people are clinging on to power is because you had that man saying, that old man, saying that none of his family is ever going to be poor again. This is why he's dividing the resources of the country between his family and his in-laws. So he's saying, if none of his family will ever be rich, poor again. But then the trouble is that 40-something million Ugandans are going to be poor because one greedy man wants his family to be super rich. Now, if we really, really love this country, we'll tell them what is happening in Karamoja. If you want more pictures, we'll send them to you. Okay? This gentleman came and told me these things some time ago. I said, I want evidence. We don't want to hear stories. Go back, bring photographic evidence. Now, you see, the people who took these photos, because, of course, he went back after the events had happened. The people who took these photos don't have iPhones and so on. So they take a few things that they can with simple smartphones. Okay? And these are the pictures we had. But if it was capable of being captured properly, we would see that there is a move to completely reduce the population, because the smaller the population, the easier it is for those people to access this. And we're talking about places where minerals are there, like Mount Moroto, planes are carrying minerals and so on. And this is supposed to be the talk of the country. It is not. This is our wealth, but we are busy talking about things which do not matter whatsoever. So now, we'll continue uncovering this country for you, because you can't go to Karamoja, you're scared. Okay? So for us, we'll go there for you. And everywhere else you don't want to go because you're scared. Okay? For us, we shall go there for you. and bring evidence. Now, it is up to you journalists, because I'm one of you. It is up to you to get serious and know what is happening in this country. Is Uganda just Kampala? Okay? Isn't Karamoja Uganda? Isn't Sebei Uganda? If we tell you what is happening in Kasese and all these other places, where similar things are happening slowly. People are being displaced. People are being very harsh conditions so that they kind of die young. And these are things which, as you said, colonialists used to do, especially in places which were mineral rich or places which resisted their colonial agenda. So now, that will be all for today. If you want this gentleman here, you can meet him outside there and ask him questions. He's a university graduate, by the way, so he can speak English, but don't ask him to speak Luganda. He's a Karamojong. Okay? Now, so you can have him. You can translate what he said to Luganda if you want. Do you speak any Luganda? None. Okay. But if they want in Karamojong, you can. If they want to broadcast in Karamojong, you can give it to them. Thank you very much. Maybe the last word will come from our national coordinator, because he is the one who has been going there.
Yes, my question is that when he was explaining and narrating what really happened in Karamoja, he mentioned and he talked about a lot of things, of which I felt like it needs to be addressed or they need to be helped in one way or another. But now in his communication, Joseph did not, I feel like he has not clearly stated some of the steps and the strategies that he has or has to help them. And also maybe, because now if people are being displaced and are being taken, I don't know, he has not answered that. I asked him earlier. And also, this situation, what need to be done urgently? Because people are in a terrible situation at the moment. What should we do? Or what do you plan to do? Or what have you done so far?
Okay, let me allow. Yeah, you see, I thought I'd said it. Currently, people are being displaced from those areas. They have moved along now the verandas of those houses in Moroto, in Igulu. If you go to Gulu now, you get Karmojong. This time around, it's not just street children. It's now big people. Jinja, Iganga. If you come then to Kisenyi now, the population has increased actually of Karmojongs. So this is where these people are going. They are running to those places now. Yeah. So I thought that was very clear.
As you gave him a chance to explain what is happening that side, and I felt like in your communication, I felt like you have not given us some of the way forward. You have talked about economic transformation, which is something very good, resource, but now as need, what are some of the strategies that you have put in place to help this particular region or to help them? Because now the situation is dire and it needs urgent, they need to be helped urgently. That is in my view. And secondly, what if you have the strategies, or maybe perhaps you might have taken a certain step before, maybe sometimes back, and we don't know as journalists. So we like us to be very clear. What are those steps that you need to take or that you have taken, and what the government needs to do at the moment?
What the government needs to do is they are not going to do, so I will not even go there. But they are going to continue killing people. That's what they are going to do. But what we are doing, our first step is to create awareness. And we've gone through a lot of trouble. This gentleman, we've sent him back to Karamoja and forth. Go back, we want evidence. Because if we didn't come with some kind of at least evidence, even very difficult to get, but some evidence, tomorrow the minister of Karamoja comes and denies, and that's it. It's our word against theirs. Let them deny those pictures. Let them deny that that's not Karamoja. Let them deny that they did not do aerial bombardment of Manyatas when we have pictures of them. Yet these people, they are an organized community, because now there are some people who are educated. They take stock of people who have died. Okay? They record people who have died. He has told it 462. That's a very precise number that he knows there probably are more. But those, in the bombings. But, okay.
If you put now the other number, I was telling you, the total population, because this thing began in Karamoja on 23rd of March. That's when the first raid took place. It's the GO who raided the Turkana, and then raided them again the second time. Raided them again. This is the result, of course, of government pulling away the protection. So now, when the Turkana now rebelled now against the and also attacked them, so they passed via the Kobe Bay, that's Matheniko. So the GA said, okay, so the Matheniko are carrying the child on the back. It's a slogan saying that they are together. Why didn't you stop them when they take our cows? So the GA now began hitting the Matheniko. That's how this thing now escalates, okay, to where it is now. Even now, as you speak, the innocent people, like now, if you see where they are arresting men now, because I've just told you that they are arresting men now in Karamoja. They come to a town like this, they arrest everybody who is a man and take that person to the detach. But now, for them, they are not doing it with GA, because there are no minerals there. They are leaving those people to continue fighting. Even as we speak now, they have killed the LOC3. They have killed it yesterday. So, but nobody wants to talk about it. They are of Napumpum. Now, they are going to Nakapiriprit. What are you doing there? That you are arresting all men, you surround men and take them to detach. Nakapiriprit is not raiding you. So you come to Moroto town now. You come to Moroto town and you impound and you take people to the detach. You come to Rupa, you impound and take people to the detaches. Yes, those areas which are mineral wealth, mineral endowed. So those are the areas now they are interested in. Let them go to GA. Why are they fearing to go to GA? Let them go and arrest men there. And also take them to the detachment. Because those are the people who first began this thing. So why are they not, going to arrest those ones? Yeah.
So our first, you're a journalist. We called you here because we want you to create awareness. That's the only thing you can do. Okay, but that's also very important. Extremely important. Because you didn't know some of these things. This gentleman has tried to explain to you as best as he can. So at least now you know something. So go and tell everybody what's happening in Karamoja. You see, what's newspaper is that which says, which has a tagline, democracy dies in darkness. You see, these things cannot happen, New York Times, these things cannot happen when they are out there. Okay? It cannot, you can't just go and kill these people and arrest thousands of people for nothing. Unless you're sure that nobody is going to bring it. Okay? But now we have brought it, and nobody else is going to bring it. Let them not, there is no other person who is going to bring these things and tell them to you apart from need. So, and not just Karamoja, other places. So, we want you to broadcast what's happening. You will save lives. We want you to know that that guy, that tweeting guy, is a war criminal. He's a war criminal. You cannot go and destroy Manyatas, which thousands of people, just because your soldier panicked and shot before he had been shot at. Okay? And killed one person who was, they are not there for the gold. They are there for the water. And they don't want the gold. They want to just graze their cows and water them. So you see them, you shoot at them. But they also have guns. And you are just a few of you. Now, here is the thing. There were 7 groups who went with the geologists, isn't it? Why is it that only one group was attacked? Because they attacked first. The others went and did their geological survey. The Karamojong are not interested in the gold. I wish they were. But they are not. For them, they want the water. and a pasture. So you are shooting at them. Then they retaliate in self-defense. Then you come and kill thousands of them. That is war crimes. Okay? And we are going to broadcast it. Okay? And these people who think that they own this country, that is war crimes. These are Ugandans. These are innocent people. Why are they arresting thousands of people, taking them to detach? Okay? We are going to continue because we are in touch. We have our people there. And everywhere you go, there are things they tell me which I cannot speak to you unless I have evidence. But I know they are true. But I tell somebody, don't tell me unless you have pictures. Because if we tell to the media, they will think we are lying. So we collect pictures. I tell them, you have phones, just take a picture. 1 or 2 or 5 and send them to us. Then we shall broadcast those pictures and tell people a story which is backed by pictorial evidence. Now that is the challenge for us. And we are going to continue doing it. And there is no place where they are going to do it like we do. Okay? Because for us, our politics is national. It is not Kampala. Okay? It's not Kampala. We have all across the country, on every blade of grass in this country, we have people there who will tell us what's happening with pictorial evidence, which we shall present to you. Now, if they buy you and you don't write, those are yours. But for us, we shall have told you. Because after all, you're all Ugandans. This is all our country. We are all stakeholders in this country. We are not more Ugandans than you. Okay, so that is your responsibility, Muhammad, you and your Nile Post, and everywhere else, you know, you write, and everybody else. So you go and tell it on the mountain. Okay. This one was...
Just to qualify in that case, you see, I've just told you that this thing began on 23rd of March 2019. But when this issue began to play on national television, it's only till when the geologists were killed. That's when this issue was played on national television. Only that time. So, anyway, that genocide which is in Karamoja, that crisis which is in Karamoja, the solutions which are being brought forward are not solutions which are going to address this challenge. It is just solutions for people to loopholes for people to take in money for their own personal gain. Yeah.
Okay. Let's finish. You're still asking?
About tomorrow, about yesterday's President Museveni yesterday's speech. I don't know whether
the speech that matters is here. And the president that matters is here. So don't ask me to comment on that man's life. Don't ask me to comment. That's why I organize my own press conferences. Okay? The president that matters is here. Who cares for Ugandans? I'm not a greedy barbarian. Okay? The one who has made you all poor. Now you want me to comment on someone who has made you poor? Me, I'm going to make you rich. So don't tell me about that man. I don't want to hear anything about him. You go and go to his press conference and ask him. This one is Kabuleta's press conference and needs press conference. President Kabuleta.
But also it's very people want to hear also something that the people also want to, because when we come to these press conferences here, there are some issues that perhaps we need to
see even your fellow journalists what?
No, it's paramount.
Anyway, it's good to talk about it, but my observation was that gentleman talked and talked and talked, but he said nothing. So that is the only comment you can get from here. And you can get nothing tangible. So it is not worth commenting.
How long was his speech? You see, that's a world record. Saying nothing in 2 hours. That's a Guinness World Record. So anyway, any other questions which matter? Yes, yes. Luganda. Okay, I'm going to speak Luganda.
Okay, it is now a common secret that the government cannot be trusted. And
you're also from Karamoja?
Yes, I am.
Which district did you say you are?
I'm from Karenga.
Karenga, okay, it's a district idea. Huh?
Now, I understand Kampala is the capital city of Uganda.
You know it is,
and
you don't understand.
It is only understandable that all ministries should be in the capital city. But what is your take on the fact that the Minister of Karamoja Affairs, both state and cabinet, are not from Karamoja? And they don't even know what Karamoja looks like on a rough day. What is your take on that?
Still, you might have to ask that man who appointed.
Actually, of course, this is one of the challenges. And our MPs from Karamoja are just now translators to these people. Most people come to Karamoja, they don't know the language, they don't understand the challenges of Karamoja, they don't know what Karamoja is going through. They have no idea at all. So, Karamoja is just is a region, to me, the perspective of the president, who is the appointing authority. I think Karamoja is just a mentoring, ground for those to turn the wheel to the same direction it's been turning for all this time. So they take you there, you learn a few things, then they relocate you. You know, actually, we have had the office in Uganda for Ministry for Karamoja Affairs. If you want to talk to Biabagambi, who was the previous minister for Karamoja Affairs, you have actually to travel and go to Uganda, and you talk to his personal assistant. So, actually, if you go and double check, we have had actually ministers for Karamoja Affairs from Karamoja. David Pulkol has been a minister of Karamoja Affairs. Teko Lokeris Peter Imat has been a minister for Karamoja Affairs. Now, if you look at Karamoja and you check tangible things the ministry has done, the things you can see now, including those dams, you brought by David Pulkol. Nobody. So that's why Karamojas are crying that maybe you put our own, put a Karamojong at least, because if you go to Teso Affairs, the Karamojong, you go where I see those people. So why? It's because of the minerals in Karamoja. Because Karamojongs will protect their own. Even if you have been bought by the state, for example, at least there's that part of you that will be like, oh my God, my people. You know? So, but when you bring these vultures now from Bugisu, I'm sorry. So they love money too much. They even concept notes you write, they use those concept notes for budgets to be approved. Those classified budgets. When the money comes, like now the 39 billion, we don't see even one. Even 50 shillings now, it's not seen on the ground. But that money is being spent. Now another classified budget has been approved by a cabinet. 85 billion for disarmament. Another 25 billion for creating those security roads. Because another thing Karamoja is suffering is that, you see, we have two borders. We have South Sudan and then Kenya. See, the issue is that even if you produce food, there's no road to connect you to Kenya. There's no road to connect you. So when you are traveling from Kampala to Karamoja, it's like Karamoja is the last village. There's no any other village ahead. Yet if government constructed a road from Moroto to Turkana from Amuda to Loro, from Timu to South Sudan, they trade there. If you come to Busia now, that border of Malaba, you see the business moving in from there. So because of the minerals, because of the mineral wealth in Karamoja, that's why you can't tolerate such a development. So thank you.
Okay. Uganda, but you ask the questions. But it's only me and Matovu. So direct your questions to either me or him. We are the ones who can speak Uganda. Sorry.
The Uganda, first hold on a bit. Just to emphasize two things. Two things on the issue of Muhammad saying, what are we doing, or what steps are we taking? Number one is to bring the information you didn't know to you. Now you have it. So we now give you the... You now have the responsibility on your shoulder to either tell other Ugandans that Karamoja is part of Uganda and this is what is happening to Karamoja. So that we join Karamoja to the rest of Uganda. The conversation should be one. We shouldn't, the narrative around is that to leave Karamoja is, that's their problem. Next week you will also see another one from another region, probably yours. I hope you know. The other thing is connecting what is, you see Karamojong children all over the streets of Kampala and everywhere else. Connect that to what is happening. First of all, they are throwing bombs in these villages to depopulate these villages. As they are ferrying the young ones to these streets. You know that about a week or two ago, KCCA was grabbing little children, taking them. Did you see that? Did you realize that the following morning, all of them were on the street? Who brings them? You think a civilian like you, Muhammad, can go to Karamoja and bring those children here? So investigate. It is connected. It is a deliberate thing to depopulate all areas that have minerals. This is the mineral curse story we are talking about. So those are what we are doing. The next time you will see what we are also doing. So for us as NEED, what we are doing now is to, because you Ugandans, from Western Uganda have been crying about the problem and they don't know where the source or the cause of the problem. The Karamojong have been doing the same. Sebei the same. Bukedi you will hear. So we are bringing you to a level where we are all realizing that the problem is the same, the cause is the same, but we are speaking them in different languages. And therefore we must speak these problems in the same language so that we have a meeting of mind. Maybe we can have a unified action to take against the oppressor. Thank you. My name is Odaka Asman. I am the national coordinator of NEED.
Asuman Odaka. Okay. Uganda. Mubuze them. Direct your questions to either him or me. Temina Mubuze. Mubuze.
Wekitiibwa Odaka kyeyakasembayo then sikola ne Baba TV. Ekyo clarifyinga ku kinidi kyekoze okulaba nga problems zino ezire Karamoja n'ebitundu ebirala zikola ki zisaana otusaba tudde mu Luganda. Ekirala kyekyaba MPs bano abakiikira abantu bano wa mu parliament bo bakozeewo ki specific kiki mwagala bakole because these are representatives bemwakera ku macha ne mulonda bakiikire mu kikolo gangu olukulu so mba musolo kidda mu Luganda kijja kukola mawulire.
Ekisookera ddala ekyaba MPs yakinyonyodde babatiisa Kamala kubanga ono agambye command of land forces oyo whatever juvenile delinquent yabatiisatiisizza tebalina kye bayiza kwogera. Yakitadde ne ku Twitter n'abatiisatiisa nti ababaka beeyo batya owulidde batya kubanga okimanyi bantu bangi abatya nammwe mutya. So, all of you are cowards. I'm telling you. So, batira ddala okwogera ensonga zeeyezo. Naye nga yakugambye nti ebintu bye balabyeko gavumenti byekozeeko oba baminisita ab'e Karamoja bye bakozeeko baabikola baminisita ba Karamoja Peter Lokeris ne David Purukol. Kubanga newankubadde baali baminisita ba Museveni nga bakolera Museveni naye nga balinamu akalumirirwa abantu baabwe kati ne bateekawo wano ne bagezaako okubaako ne kye bayamba naye kati yagamba etaddako Janet Kata yagendayo okuba minerals kati yabayise baani vultures be baani mu Luganda Karoli ensega bwabayise sinze nze nzivunula buvunuzi ensega kati zino z'aba minisita abaliyo bombi bagisu minisita ne minister of state kakati simanyi ye bwabayise n'aga nti tebalina kye bamanyi ku nkola y'Abakaramoja. Jjukira bano abantu bali traditional balina enkola yaabwe tebalinga ffe abaakyukakyuka edda bo balina enkola yaabwe bali traditional balina ebintu byabwe engeri gye batambula society yaabwe engeri gyetambula kati gweoba togimanyi ne bakuteekawo nti oli minisita nga tomanyi oyinza obutabayamba nga bano bwe batabayambye naye bali abaali bamanyi lwakuba baakulirayo newankubadde baavaayo ne basoma ne bafuka minisita baali bategeera nti kati bano abantu tusobola obbayamba bwetuti ne bwetuti. So ekyo kimu. Ekyokubiri ky'obuuzizza kibadde ki? NEED ekisookera ddala ono national coordinator kyayogedde NEED okusookera ddala twagala abantu bategeere ekiriyo yensonga lwaki tugenda ne tukijjayo ne tuteekako ki ku mwanjo ne tubayita wano mwenna ne tuwaaneka kyayi mutuyambe mugende mukole ki mubulire enjiri eno mutegeeze abantu ebigenda mu maaso kuba ffenna bitukwatako bano baganda baffe owulidde bonna bannayuganda nga ffe kakati ffe mutuyamba nemukola ekyo waliwo ebitayinza genda mu maaso mu ggwanga nga abantu bamanyi waliwo ebintu bye bakola lwakuba bamanyi tebijja kutuuka eno owulidde naye kasita bamanya nti binaatuuka eno awo batandika okutyamu akatono kakati twagala ebinaabayo byonna tujja kuba tubatuusaako ebintu byonna kati mugende mugambe nti abantu 462 bamanyi bye bawandiisa amannya abaafudde mu bomu ze babadde bakuba abantu abo bo bwe bali bakubye zimanya ti abantu babagobye mu kyalo lwakuba mulimu ebyobugagga biyitirivu kati baagala kati noono n'ayogera n'agamba nti ne bano abaana bwe mulaba wano mu street abakaramojja ani abajjayo jjukira bw'oba oyagala okugobayo population abakadde obakuba bomu abato n'obaleeta wano ku street kati oluvannyuma emyaka 2-3 tewabeera muntu because bano bwe baliddiridde bali mu bigere ne mubajjeeyo kati onazze kuno ku street takyamanyi bya karamojja owulidde kati oluvannyuma lwakabanga katono ogenda okulanga ekifo kyonna kikalu ne balyoka bezizika minerals zonna ne bazibba ne bazimalawo nga teri abanja teri anyega so kati eno ye plan so tolowooza nti bano abaana okujja ne bagenda ku street bajja batya okuva e Karamoja ne bajja kuno nga basaba 10 sente meka ze beetaaga okuva e Karamoja okutuuka wano alyoka akusaba 10 ani yamuleese ani yamuleese kuno ku street so kati ebyo bye mulina okwebuuza ate no baliwo n'ebintu bingi bye babakozesa abaana abo abamu bagenda ne babatendeka okubateeka mu safe houses babatwala awo ku street talina maama talina taata talina kwegambanga talina mutima kati bwakutulugunya ne bwokaaba talina mutima kati gwe toyinza kutulugunya muntu akukaabira n'olaba mwana wo n'olaba mwannyoko n'olaba ki nebbo talina bwamanyi bamujja eri bamuleeta wano kati waliwo abantu banga abageze mu safe houses n'osanga obwo bulenzi nga babutraininga bwe bukunyiga akunyiga nga talinamu yadde ne bwolajjana talinamu yadde katima kakulumirirwa takayina because bamujja eri so kati waliwo omuntu gojje wano ng'omujje mu society nga ne bw'aba akunyiga bw'olajja n'agamba wange musajja simutta naye wali oli tafaayo kye bamugamba okukola kyakola so baani aba bajjayo lwaki bali kuno ku street ebyo bye twogerako kati ekisookera ddala kye tulina okutegeera nti ebizibu bya Uganda ono nga bw'adde agamba byebimu okujjako babyogera mu nnimi ez'enjawulo naye ng'ebizibu byemu kati ojja kulaba n'abava eno n'abava eri n'abava bonna boogera ebintu byebimu abalina kati tujja kubaleeta wano bazuula wano ki ffenna ne bajja ogenda okulaba abantu batandise okufa abakazi batandise obbakwata bikinga kye baagala mutye muveewo awo mugende ewalala basigaze ebyobugagga ebiriwo kati kyekiriwo kati bino bye twagala okuleeta wano kati ffe nga need wano tutandika butandisi kano ka movie kakola ki katandika butandisi ebiddako mujja biwulira ffe twazze nga twagala kutegeeza abantu nti Uganda yaffe ffenna tewali bantu bagenda kulowooza nti yaabwe nti ffe tuli basenze tetuli basenze tuli ba citizens naffe tuli bannannyini naffe tuli ba stakeholder mwebale nnyo muyina ekirala tumale mwebale nnyo tweyanziza nnyo ya mutuuke bulungi n'amawulire mugafayiringe bulungi mukyusekyusemu katono naye sinywa so ne wiiki ejja weetuli buli mande tusaba okulula kapya mukiwulidde